All right, Andrew Douglas here in the Action News 5 Digital Desk. You know, at this time of the week, we're always trying to figure out, okay, what are our plans for the weekend? Are we going to go out to eat? Where are we going to go? The number one person you should always listen to when it comes to going out to eat is Jennifer Chandler, the food reporter at the Commercial Appeal. She is joining us on the digital desk, always talking about great dishes and great cuisine that we have here in Memphis and the Mid-South. And today, Jennifer, you are telling us about some fancy catfish dishes, huh? Good morning.
Good morning. I am going to tell you about some fancy catfish dishes. You may not know this, but August was National Catfish Month. And every year I do a roundup of some sorts about catfish. And in the past, I've done a lot of things on fried catfish. And there's so many good places to get fried catfish in Memphis, from soul food restaurants like Alcinia's and the Four Way and Soul Fish Cafe, to unexpected places like barbecue shops. Like, for example, there's really good catfish at Corky's Barbecue. You may not have known that. Leonard's Pit Barbecue also has a great fried catfish. So you can't go wrong with fried catfish, but I decided to look at some of these restaurants in Memphis that are taking the South's favorite fish and making it fancy and kind of treating it like I don't want to say fine dining, but kind of a, something you would see more like these presentations you'd expect more with, like redfish or grouper or snapper, or something that's just a little more expensive of fish, but not necessarily as tasty as catfish is.
Fantastic. I love it. Let's go for it.
Yeah. I'm going to start on the list. And the first one is at Chef Tam's Underground Cafe. And this is a restaurant that is kind of it's in the Edge District, kind of almost like if you're reaching downtown near Sun Studios. And Chef Tam, Tamara Patterson is her real name, but she goes by Chef Tam. And her dish is the sizzling jambalaya stuffed catfish. I mean, and you can see from this picture, it comes to your table in a cast iron skillet, sizzling, and it has a lovely piece of blackened catfish underneath all of that goodness that you see of her jambalaya, and it has shrimp on top. And then she has, if you've ever had her Cajun, I think they're called Cajun Bayou fries, that are like loaded with her seafood cream sauce. That same seafood cream sauce is served on the side, so you can spoon it over this dish. And I have to tell you, it is hearty. My husband and I went recently and we split it because we wanted to also try all of her fabulous sides. So it's a big dish. If you go and you want to split it, make sure you order 2 or 3 of her sides. The seafood macaroni and cheese, thumbs up, as well as her yams. Can't go wrong with this dish for sure. And it's a new menu item for her. She's always had some catfish things on her menu, but this one she said she wanted to have something that came to the table and made a statement. And this dish definitely makes a statement. When it came to our table, I think every table around us, all the other guests in the restaurant turned and looked and said, "What is that? That looks so good." And it was. So next on my list is a dish that's been on a menu for a very, very long time at the Farmer at Rail Garden, the pan-seared Mississippi catfish. So the Farmer Mac Edwards restaurant has been through many renditions. It started on Highland, and then it moved over into Chickasaw. I think it's called Chickasaw Oaks Plaza. I'm not 100% sure of that mall name. And then he did a version of it out in Collierville. And now his restaurant is in the Rail Garden, in the diner space that was there. And it is just as good as always. This dish was a dish that was featured on Guy Fieri's Diners, Drive-Ins, and Dives. And it is well worthy of being featured on national TV because he uses Lake's Catfish, which is a local catfish farm out of the Mississippi Delta. And it's perfectly cooked, and it's served over a smoky tomato broth with some really good macaroni and cheese and some really good greens. You'll see that that's going to be a theme for some of these dishes. But it's a winning combination that works so well. So if you're in Midtown, go to the Farmer at Rail Garden and try this dish. You will not be disappointed. Next on my list is another dish that's been on a menu for a very, very long time, McEwen's sweet potato crusted catfish. And so again, this one has greens and macaroni and cheese as the sides. Again, you can't go wrong, but it just has this nice crust that's done with sweet potatoes. So it adds a little crunch. They have a little honey mustard sauce that comes with it. And this dish has been on the menu probably close to 20 years. Michael Patrick was the chef there in 2002. And that's when this dish showed up on the menu. Joe Cartwright, who is the current chef at McEwen's, was working in the kitchen there under Michael Patrick, and he has never taken it off. He says it's so popular. They thought about taking it off before, but every time they think about it, they realize this is a customer favorite. We can't change this catfish dish. So that's the one at McEwen's. For 20 years, people have been going there and enjoying it. So you should too. Following on my list is SOB restaurant, which south of Beale. They have 2 locations. They have one downtown on South Main, which is south of Beale. That's how it got its name. And they have a second location in East Memphis on Sanderland. And they have a third location in Collierville in the works right now that should be opening soon. So they have a blackened catfish dish. And then the blackened catfish is like the perfect amount of blackening. It's got that kick and that heat and that flavor that you want, but it's not overwhelming. That's something hard to do. I've had blackened catfish places and they put way too much blackening season. That is not going to be the case at one of the 2 SOB restaurants. And what is really cool, they embrace the whole South. And so they have it serves on a bed of okra and corn succotash. And the sauce is kind of like a sausage and spicy crawfish cream sauce. And it's a really elegant version of blackened catfish. Serve it with a glass of wine and you will be very, very happy. And then the last one on my list is another dish that has been around on a menu for a very, very, very long time. And it is at the Half Shell. And it's called Catfish Pauline, Louisiana style. So this is the one dish that does have fried catfish in it. But it is a really elegant spin on fried catfish. It comes covered in jumbo lump crab meat and served with a Creole Meunier sauce. And it does have rice pilaf that comes on the side. And it has been on the menu for probably a little over a decade. Half Shell owner Danny Summerall was recalling the story how it ended up there. He and his chef at the time had been traveling in Louisiana, and they stopped at a restaurant and they saw a dish similar to this. And they were like, this is so good. And he said his chef spent the entire drive home figuring out a way to make his own spin on this dish that they had just enjoyed and loved. And that's what this Catfish Pauline Louisiana style is. And it's been on the menu, as I said, for about a decade, for close to 10 years. And again, can't take it off the menu. Everyone loves it. So have you had any of these dishes by any chance, Andrew?
I've been to all those restaurants, all 5 restaurants, and they do a fantastic job. All of them do. Full disclosure, Jennifer, I don't like catfish. I love seafood. I just don't eat catfish, and I know that's sacrilege around here, but yeah, it just doesn't work for me. It doesn't do well. I don't know why, but.
Well, if you're going to try one somewhere,
yes.
I would try one of these because it's done right, It's none of that, some places, amazing. If you have catfish done wrong, it's not good. But if you have it done right,
yes.
It's tender and flaky and mild and really delicious.
Right. And all 5 of these restaurants are amazing. So I know that the catfish is going to be amazing because these restaurants, they know how to do it and they do it right. Jennifer Chandler, speaking of doing things right, you always do it right here on the Digital Desk, getting us hungry, getting us thinking about the weekend, where we're going to eat, where we're going to go. Thank you, as always, very much.
Thanks. See you soon.